Hey there, welcome to How It Works. Long time no see. Sorry it's been a while, but life got hectic as it does. So this one's going to be a little bit different. This is from way back in July of 2025 in our old space. So spoiler, in case you don't know watching this, we moved to a new place. Look forward to sharing more about that, and I finally do have a workshop. But this video I wanted to share because I thought it was important. I spent about 5 years in a townhouse with no garage or dedicated workspace, and I got into woodworking, and I just didn't let that stop me. I just started going and making projects, and I had a blast. So I hope this is something that inspires you to just get started, because this is a really fun hobby to get into. I mean, any hobby you can apply this to, but woodworking I think is particularly intimidating. If you watch YouTube, all these guys have these big, like $50,000-$100,000 shops and in big spaces that themselves cost a lot of money. And it's like, how am I supposed to get into this without that? But you can, you totally can. So you totally should. It's really, really fun. So you can make a lot of good stuff that's kind of custom to your space, or gifts, or just a lot of stuff you just can't buy elsewhere or find elsewhere because it's custom. And the fact that you made it, there's something special to that. So hopefully it serves as an inspiration for some of you out there. Apologies in advance, the video quality is not great, if I'm being honest. I was using like an old kind of backup phone and the lighting wasn't great. Basically learned that we were moving and knew I needed to pack up the workspace, and so shot this video and then packed up the workshop like immediately afterwards. So it is what we have, you know, it's all we have, the footage. So the place is sold now, I can't go back there and put it all together again. But hopefully you enjoy it. Second half of it is kind of a slideshow of a lot of the projects I was able to do over those 5 years. I wasn't always filming at that time, wasn't intending to do woodworking for YouTube at the time, so I didn't have video of me making all of them, but I do have some pictures before and after and kind of the shots as I was building. So made a slideshow like that just to show kind of a progression and what I was able to get away with. So hope you enjoy, and thanks for watching. See you next time. Hello there, welcome. So today I thought I'd give you a little shop tour. So kind of funny to call it that because I don't really have a shop. In fact, this is in my living room. So I've been doing woodworking stuff for about 5 years now, never had a shop, lived in a townhouse with no garage or other workshop space, no basement. So I got really into woodworking and I said, I'm gonna make this work. And my wife was very understanding and allowed me to take over this little bit of dead space at the bottom of our stairs. So let me show you around. First off, main event, here's this workbench. So I built this myself. This is one of the first big projects I did because I initially bought like a little rickety Amazon workbench, and it was just really wobbly, really unpleasant to work on, especially doing hand tools. And I was like very romantic about it. I'm like, I'm going to do hand tools, hand planing, and I want something solid that I can plane on. And this served the purpose. It's made out of construction lumber. I mean, the joinery on it is pretty shoddy. I patched it together, you know, but it works, and it is, I mean, it is rock solid. And it probably cost $150 in materials at the time, maybe 200 if you count like the vise hardware. It has this leg vise, which is pretty cheap hardware. Made the handle for it myself. And then I did this style with, probably can't see it, but I'll show in a different shot. There's a bar down there. So, you know, with the leg vise, there's different ways to solve the problem of racking top to bottom. Might have a different name for it. Not racking, that'd be more side to side, but same problem essentially. You gotta have something on the bottom to counteract the force on top. And so some people do like the dead man, some people do like a wheel, the scissor, which is, you know, probably the nicest, but also most expensive. And I just did like a linear motion rail. I forget the name of it. There's a name for it, but basically it's kind of like, acts like a holdfast, locks the bottom in place whenever you tighten the clamp, and it works really well. Really simple, cheap, easy solution. So that's the vise. You know, you can see I put holes in it. I initially had a hole there, which I intended to use for plane stop. Never ended up inserting one, never really found a need for it. And then, I mean, that's the bench. So thought about doing shelving down below. I ended up just doing simple shelves on the bottom. And my vacuum, here is my only Festool product, the track saw, which is my most recent purchase and all this, just about. And then from there, things kind of exploded, as you can see. So I started off with this wood storage up here. This is just like the Bora wood storage. And so I filled that up pretty quickly. I ended up putting these 1/4-inch things on plywood sheets on the bottom. That way I could put smaller pieces up there that didn't have to span the whole length. And then this French cleat wall. So I put up this backer piece that I only had to drill into the drywall with a couple screws, put in the studs, and then I could just put everything else on the French cleats. So I just tool by tool, as I did, got new tools, added new things, I would make a little holder for them. And then I ended up having to extend this. So I made another holder for my French cleat holders, basically. So this kind of bumped that out, same over here. And then this wall filled up and I said, oh, what do I do now? And so then I expanded over here and I have clamp storage up in this corner here. That was original. Whenever I started this whole thing, I had to put my clamps somewhere. I got a lot of really long clamps because you can clamp small things and large things with long clamps, but you can't clamp large things with small clamps. So that was my cost savings idea, but they're really cumbersome to use on small projects. So definitely want to have a little bit of both if you can swing it. Probably would have done more pipe clamps if I could go back. Ended up getting some F-style ones. These are great. So I like those a lot. And I love these squeeze clamps. So I use those all the time. Got these other things, I got my nail gun, drill. I mean, the rest is kind of self-explanatory on here. Got, circular saw, tape measure, block plane. Got all my measuring tools, cutting tools, chisels, spoke shave, which I've not really gotten the hang of. My hand plane, basically just have the one hand plane. I've gone through a few of them, but this is by far the best one I have. And I just use it primarily along with the block plane. This is like the Stanley Sweetheart low angle jack plane. Then I got these things. What's cool about these, so I don't have a tail vise on this, which if I could go back, I'd put one on here, but I do have this. This was my solution. I was like, if I have this, I don't need a tail vise. So basically this is like the Veritas, I forget what it's called. It's like the Wonder Dogs, but there's another name for it. But basically it allows you to essentially use it as a tail vise. So you put your dog in and then you just slide it in and then lock it down, and it's pretty solid. So you can plane, and then when you're done, you can just take it off and put it back. So that has been my solution for face planing, like planing on the face grain of wood. So that's that. Some other just odds and ends, chemicals. These are card scrapers. Got the Cat's Moses dovetail and jig, which is pretty cool. Some old plastic squares I could probably get rid of at this point. Sanding accessories, which are just piled up on the original French cleat tool holder. This router, obviously this is the only router I have, which is just like a palm router, but I've gotten away with it, and it comes with, you can buy the plunge attachment, which works well. And then to go with that, I got my router table, which just slots in down here. Again, a French cleat, but more like a French cleat drawer. And then another sander, which is corded. I ran into problems with this one because it's cordless. The battery always runs out, and as the battery dies, the performance deteriorates. So corded for sanders, for sure, that's the way to go. And then I was like, well, I don't always use this corner, so I got this little Chinese bandsaw from Win. I mean, it's works well. And then originally this corner down here was for my dog's crate to tuck under here. This was part of the deal, was I could build a bench, use this corner, but also my dog's crate has to go in here. But then I was like, I really want a planer. So I built a little end table, I'll show you in a second, that sits over the dog crate. That way I could put it over here, and then I could get a planer. So I got myself a planer. Got more tool storage up here, some more clamps. Those are my grandfather's clamps, actually. They're, over 50 years old, probably much older than that. And I kind of got the rust off of them, tuned them up, oiled them up, cleaned them off, and they work like a charm. And it's a fun way to kind of connect back to my grandfather, who liked to dabble in stuff in the wood shop. And then some of those bandy clamps, which I've yet to use because I just haven't really had a chance to use them since I got them. and then my little drill press attachment. Odds and ends in here, like of course, I'm gonna have my sharpening jig. So I made, you know, bespoke one that fits in the drawer here, so I can set my angle properly and everything, and it just makes it really straightforward to cut with the sharpening jig. And then over here, you know, of course, the straight edge. So it's the Veritas one. It's really nice to have a big straight edge. Saws, I got the, you know, Dozuki folding dovetail saw, and then my big levels and a little coping saw. So that's the corner. Of course, if you don't believe me that this is my living room, let me show you. This is my living room. Yep. So there you can see my dog crate table. Another shot, there's the clamp wall. All of my French cleats. And here's the bench. And there's the top. Here's that mechanism for my leg vise. You can see it's got a linear motion rail with a linear motion ball bearing thingy on the back. On the front, it's just a hole, and it's drilled at a slight angle so that whenever you apply pressure up here with something you're locking into the vise, this thing will wedge itself in, kind of like a big hold fast on a workbench, if you're familiar. Pretty cool and pretty cost effective and simple. Keeps me from having to bend over and use a peg or something like a wedge. So, of course, I ran out of wood storage over there, and I needed a place to put the rest of my boards. And after we put up this IKEA thing, I had this dead space on the sides, and I said, well, I'll just take that over too. And my wife, once again, was very agreeable and said, okay. So, put wood over here, wood up there. I mean, I don't even know why I have all this wood, honestly. There's some jigs over here too, Festool rail, so it's just kind of overflow space. Of course, I needed a big flat surface for assembling things, so what better surface than the dining room table. As you can see, despite my trying to cover it with moving blankets and drop cloths, I have kind of wrecked this thing. But, oh well, just from rooms to go. I'll get rid of it anyway. Here is my closet, pretty messy, but as you can see, got my table saw down there. I just have to put it on its side every time I use it, and got the little scissor stand for it. Here's my old crosscut sled, there's the newer one, and a bunch of jigs. So I got my little push block, little bow, featherboard, the dado stack, some drop cloths and whatnot. And then up here I hung up some rolling workpiece supports. And if you look around here, I do have my batteries all charging and my extension cord. That's the closet. It's even taken over my bedroom dresser a little bit. And my bedroom closet. So that's a wrap on the shop tour. Really not much of a shop, but I've made dozens of woodworking projects with this humble setup here. So really all you need are someone who's very understanding, who lives with you, like a spouse, significant other, to allow you to do something like this. To just not really to care about what people think, who come in your house and they look at this and they think you're weird. It's cool. You don't need those people anyway. 3, of course, a little bit of money. You know, it's still an investment, but I started small and I built my way up, and you can do the same thing. And some of the best projects I made were really like humble tools I was using, like a hand saw, a circular saw, jigsaw. So just start small and build your way up, and before you know it, you'll be doing stuff like this. Getting a planer and a track saw because you just can't help yourself because it's so much fun and you just want it. So highly encourage you to get into this if you're considering it as a hobby, even if you don't really have a dedicated space like a garage or some fancy workshop or basement. You can make lots of cool stuff as long as you have a little bit of space and maybe some outdoor space, ideally. I use the outdoor space a lot more these days. Just I enjoy the power tool work a little bit more than the hand tool stuff. So, but it's kind of fun to do both. Anyway, that's the shop tour. That's it. So, big news that we just found out yesterday is that we are moving. We put in an offer on a house and it was accepted. We're under contract and the new house has a garage. So, time to pack all this up and move into an actual workshop. I look forward to seeing you on the other side, unpacking all of this and building out a workshop and filming the whole thing and letting you follow along. So if you care to follow along with me, watch me build a workshop and see what that's like from somebody who's never done it before's perspective, might be helpful. So subscribe, like down below. I'll keep making videos if you keep watching. So thank you. So now a little trip down memory lane with some of my previous projects. First thing I ever made was this little sofa table. It's just pocket holding together and stained pine from the big box store, but turned out okay, served a function. Up next, we got this coat closet. When we moved in, this is not a functional closet at all and made a ton of storage in here. You can see the cabinets. A little wonky, did it with the jigsaw. Here you can see me cutting down some boards for planter box to go outside for my wife to grow some plants. This is just a cut up Christmas tree, the first tree we had in that house. Cut it up and made a little collage with it, went over our bed for a while. Here's a nice shot of the workspace I was using. There's that rickety old Amazon workbench I used temporarily. Here's some of the glue ups for my big workbench. You can see where I made the joint. There's me with all the shavings. Literally hand planed that whole thing down in the living room. At the same time, I was building this dovetailed box. Never done dovetails before, never again. I don't know, never say never. Might do it again. These came out okay if you squint real hard, but this was a box for my mom to hold some books she got that were special to her in childhood. And then it was time to make this project for my dad, so he requested this thing for their bathroom wall and gave me dimensions. So made that out of Iroko, also known as African teak. So it was intended to go like this, but I mixed up the dimensions and it actually went up like this. So this is how he wanted it, and I think it looks fine this way too. All the while I was building out this kind of French cleat system with all of my tools, little by little added tool holders until it became this monstrosity here. Also did windowsills. Put these in every window in the house so we could use plants on the windows. Did some other closet work. I did all the closets in the house basically. Made some picture frames. This one for a friend. Made this cool whale. Some template routing. Found this big cedar slab on the side of the road. Cut it up and made these cool floating shelves to go in my office. Made some more floating shelves with mitered boxes to go around a friend's stove and microwave. And then it was time for the biggest project to date, which was this big credenza. It's a mitered box as well. You can see here me gluing it up. Here's the miter. Pretty tight. Not bad. Put some drawers in there. It was the first drawers I ever made. Then it was the tough part, which was gluing up and cutting down this solid walnut panel. That was kind of tough because that was a lot of money in that panel, but I did it. All in all, I'd say it turned out pretty good. Still probably the thing I'm most proud of, and definitely my largest and most ambitious project to date. Did plenty of other things, but here's a good sample to show you can do a lot with a small space. Thanks for watching.